introduction by one of America's premier cowboy singers.
This clutch is from which machine?
The yellow one.
The high performance one, huh?
Yeah. These,
Dangerous chemicals.
this clutch has high performance
Hi, I'm Dr. Travis Fallon
flyweights
from
and
County. How many dangerous chemicals
buttons
and
and
cancers
stuff in
causing
it.
agents?
Uh-huh.
Do you think secondhand
When did they start putting fuel injection on snow machines?
it was up into 2000.
But I suppose if the carburetor is adjusted properly, it's maybe it's a little bit worse on gas, but otherwise you can make them run pretty nicely. How about startup? Is it at the elevation? Is it a challenge?
This
times?
machine used to start, and of course like I say, used to. You
Right.
got a primer here,
Uh-huh.
and you'd prime it about 3 times, and the second pull it'd fire.
Not bad.
And sometimes, if it had been a couple weeks, you'd have to hit the primer once in a while for the first couple minutes to keep it running.
Okay.
This clutch here engages, closes.
Oh, so there is the clutch is actually here.
Yeah, the main clutch.
Okay.
And this is actually your transmission. This
Oh,
clutch
okay,
here.
okay.
So it opens or closes depending on RPM.
Uh-huh. So it's like continuously variable transmission.
Right. And that's what it
Similar,
is.
similar at least concept.
It is.
Same concept. Okay.
Same thing, what they call them, and that's what they are. You got to be kind of careful what you put on this aluminum, because it'll etch it.
Uh-huh.
And if you etch it, it gets too rough and then it won't shift.
Like what the kinds of cleaners you use and
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah, you want to be a little careful with the cleaner you use, because some of it is not compatible with aluminum,
Uh-huh.
and it'll etch the goddamn stuff.
Home to all the country classics. You're listening to KBNO, Dino 101.7, Thermopolis.
Go stick her in the vise and see how it opens.
A little tough, or that's the way it should be?
That's the way it should be. What it'll do under load, it'll turn like that, but it'll also come out. It'll open up. And
By twisting it just brings it up. Yeah, I see
Yeah.
the little thing, the mill there.
Right.
Kind of rides it on that ramp.
And as long as it's working free, it'll work. What I wanted to be sure is that it would turn without hanging up. And it turns to the max.
So is it spring loaded there?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's spring loaded. And if I could clamp it in the vise where I could hold it, you could turn it and pull up on it and it'd open up. And it does it under
The RPMs will
RPM.
throw it out.
Yeah, and that's that determines what gear you're in, if you will. And the hell it.
Yeah, it would determine the ratio that will be sent to the track.
Yeah, and this one is 23, so I'm not too worried about it, because they determine play, and sometimes there's shims behind them to hold them out to line this with this one.
Right.
But this one didn't need it, so. But all they are is just a shim to keep it in place, if you will.
And how do you adjust them? How do you know?
You got to line them up, Jake. You got to. You've got to use a straight edge. Both clutches on the machine, and then use a straight edge to.
Oh, so it's basically the same concept as when you're adjusting chain on the bike.
Yeah.
Okay. You just make sure that there is no angle between the two clutches or between the two wheels that will start binding and stuff.
Yep. And see, you get a little play.
Uh-huh.
And you got to have a little bit in there to.
Right.
See, there's no oil in the engine.
Right. It being two-stroke, all the oil gets injected.
Yep.
So it's not, you don't premix it. It gets injected and it gets the dose is calibrated to the proper.
Right. And the computer changes the injection.
Oh, so it's okay. So it's controlled. It's not constant.
Right.
Ratio oil to the gas.
Right.
It gets controlled.
It's controlled
Even though
through RPM.
even though it's water cooled, but I would imagine the oil also serves as lubrication and cooling also.
Right.
So higher RPM probably delivers a little bit more oil. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's it's the same volume of the engine, but one being two-cylinder, it's completely different setup. The size of the cylinders, the size of the stroke. I mean the pistons.
Basically.
This one would be more torqueier.
More what?
Torqueier engine.
Yeah.
Right, because the pistons will have more mass.
Right.
The other one is probably runs at higher RPM, but this one is should have more torque.
Actually, this one, Jake. This one is.
So it has a mark where you need to align
See, it's got a little timing mark right there. And a timing mark here.
Right.
And then I mark everything so I get it all back to
Before
the same.
taking it off. Okay.
Before taking it off, so it's all. It stays balanced to the engine.
Right. Of course, the newer ones are a lot fancier with all the
Oh yeah.
gadgetry and the speedometers.
All the crap on them is unbelievable anymore.
Yeah, when it's all working and new, it sure is nice and useful, but the way I look at it, more things to break.
Exactly. Just some more shit to deal with.
Now, do you have the manuals, or you just remember all the torque specs and?
I remember.
Yeah, well, nowadays it's amazing. Anyone can, with a little bit of a skill, can work on pretty much anything and find all the information on the web.
Yeah.
If you search, you can find all the torque specs and everything else.
Exactly. Is a tapered shaft. The crankshaft. The end of it is just tapered.
Okay.
There's no keyway.
Oh.
So, torque. You gotta make it lock onto that shaft.
Now, how's the belt tension? What is it that is regulated by?
It's called deflection. At setting here, you so much. I think it's
An inch?
It's like an inch to an inch and 3/4 deflection from setting.
And if it's too loose, how would you go about adjusting it?
Put a new belt on it.
Ah. So it comes to size, and then,
Yeah.
of course, those plates, by opening it and closing it with the RPMs, will
This one,
determine how fast that wheel will be spinning.
this one opens and closes too.
Right.
As you wind it up, it'll close.
Right. This one functions as the clutch
Right.
itself. That one is more like a transmission.
Transmission.
Okay.
Yep. I got my. What the hell did I do with my? Oh.
It's pretty loose, huh?
Well, I might have to change the belts on it.
You think it's a little bit too
Well-
loose?
It might be.
Well, they don't get stretched out, so are they worn when you have to replace them?
Yeah, what they do, Jake, is they get narrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they get eaten up on the sides.
Yeah, and see, that one's not. Hell, there ain't enough difference in that to even know it. I think it'll be all right once I fire it up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. This is hard work anymore for an old man.
Ah, you still got it, Mike. Now, what are those sensors in the head? Temperature? Is that the temperature sensors that you were telling me about that he installed?
Right here.
Oh, on that side.
Yeah,
What about this two on this side? What are those?
These here are how hot the engine is.
Oh, okay, so that's just the temperature reading.
Yeah.
Temperature sensors.
And one of them, well, they both go to the computer, but one of them gives you temperature on the temperature gauge, and the other one tells the computer that the head, it's too hot or it's too cold, lean it out or give it more fuel.
Uh-huh. And probably will regulate the oil flow too, the mixture.
Yep.
Now, since you built it for you, have you ever taken it apart? Have you taken the head off?
Nope.
It's all been running, no problems, huh?
I've never touched it. The only thing I've ever done to it is put new plugs in it. I showed up there when he was building and told him what I was hunting. You son of a bitch. And he said, well, I'm building one, but he said, I don't really want to sell it. And I said, well, I really need a machine. Son of a bitch. And I said, what you're building is what I'm wanting. That's a bastard to get lined up.
So I guess he wasn't ready to run it. He was looking for a buyer. You were looking for a machine.
Yeah, and he had just got back to work after his wreck.
Oh.
And
Oh, so he started prepping this machine before the wreck.
right, he was getting it ready for the Jackson Hole Hill climb.
Uh-huh.
God damn it! It's what he was doing. When I stopped there, and or when he broke his leg, he was guiding a snow machine tour when he wrecked that machine.
Yeah, I wonder how all the clients felt. The guy, I'm pretty sure he was probably maybe going a little bit too hot or something.
Yeah, he was showing off.
Uh-huh.
And he admitted it. He said, you know, I ride racing machines. And he said, my client wanted to see me climb a hill. So he said, I climbed the hill, and You know what? I screwed up.
Yeah, maybe there was some young beauty there that he
It could have
wanted
been.
to show the little extra stuff.
He was just a young guy. Hell, he was only in his early 20s.
Uh-huh. Usually that's the motivation to do stupid things and then pay for it.
Usually it is.
Well, I suppose you were there in the right time to get the machine.
Yeah.
His misfortune became your deal.
Well, he told me, he said if my leg healed up enough to allow me to race again and run the hill climbing stuff, he said I can always build another one.
Did he ever get back into it?
Not that I knew of, Jake. The last time I seen him, he was still had a hell of a time even walking.
Wow.
He walked kind of like Jim Lewis.
Huh. So it messed him up pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what happened? Did he break his leg or?
Yeah, it shattered the...
Oh, it shattered the bone.
Yeah.
Oh, that stuff takes forever to heal.
Yeah, and that's what he said. You know, he said, I got to pay for it. I did it, so... I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do to get that one back in there. These things are just like any other fucking piece of equipment. Ride them a while and work on them. Ride them a while and work on them.
That's the story. Yes, you know, you buy the brand new and you might go for one season without issues, and then season comes around and all of a sudden this little plastic breaks off, and then worse and worse, and then pretty soon you start shelling out some serious bucks.
Well, you know, you always got to pay to play.
So you carry two spare ones?
Yeah, I carry two spares. These are used, but they look all right to me.
Uh-huh.
He probably changed them because he was having a hard time starting it.
Yeah, I guess with two-cycle ones, they
Never had much trouble with this one.
were running pretty clean.
It always, of course, I'd run hot fuel, and
What do you mean hot fuel? You would put some
Premium
additives? Oh, okay.
run strictly premium fuel.
Did you use the octane boosters or anything like that?
No, I would put. I always put seafoam in them,
Uh-huh.
which.
Oh, so you've been using seafoam for a while now.
Oh yeah, for hell, I can't remember how long.
Did you see that new STP? It's the same looking bottle, and you know they have. Yeah, I saw the commercial. It's basically miracle oil. I mean, you put it in the crankshaft, and you put it in the gas, and you put it in the diesel, and it shows STP, yes. And the bottle looks just like seafoam. I guess they are trying to compete with seafoam. Maybe seafoam became fairly popular with people, and so they came out. It looks almost the same, except it says STP, and of course I went to the website just to see what the claims are, and the claims that it has better lubricant protection than seafoam by some tests and this and that, but it's a gas treatment and engine oil treatment, and I mean pretty much the claims is you use STP and that thing will run forever, I suppose. I don't know, it might be a good product. It might be
It might be.
Might be as good as Seafoam.
It could very well be. Sounds like it's.
But a lot of people swear by Seafoam. I mean, I've heard a lot of folks that run those diesel, the hot diesels, that they you know, pump out over 1,000 horsepower. And you're gonna try to start it?
Yeah, I gotta get a key.
Well, it started right up.
Yeah, it started good. That fucking altitude compensator has gotten it. It's got it running too fast down here.
Oh.
Too high.
Yeah, I saw in your face that you were not really happy with the sound of it.
Yeah, it's just that altitude compensator it's idling, got it idling high because we're too low elevation.
Right. So once we get to 8,000, it should be will smooth it out.
Yeah, it'll smooth out and it'll help after it runs a while when we get all the.
Sure.
But I think this machine, all I need to do is shoot a little grease to it here and there.
And it's ready to rock, huh?
Probably won't even need to grease it actually, because
Yeah, you can see that this one has quite a bit more clearance. So it's definitely should be better on
yeah, this
on the loose snow.
it's designed
Right.
for, and of course that one it'll help when we take the tension off of it, but that one's made for trail riding.
Right. Right.
That's what it's built for. Let his trailer go to hell.
Well, it's kind of understandable.
Yeah, I don't.
Between being away on the rig all the time and then coming and having deal with all the family issues.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally understand.
Yeah, I can't really blame the guy. This one doesn't have the pump
No.
primer. Mitch, why don't you go and pull that thing? Use your muscle.
He looked at you and looked at me and he thought, yeah, make me do the hard work. Hell, don't. Get the wrong one on the wrong hole. Then it will be a bit to start.
That will be pulling until tomorrow. Of course, the beauty for snow machines, you probably never have to change the air filter. There's no dust up there.
Nope. for a few licks, Jake.
Good compression?
Yeah. Just trying to get some fuel running through it.
Uh-huh.
Come on. We'd go up just about
So you're just
every
pouring it into the head straight in, huh?
Yeah.
Now, would you test if sufficient oil coming to the engine?
If there's oil,
Yeah, if it feeds the oil, injects the oil,
it'll be smoking.
and you'll see if it gets used up or anything.
Oh yeah, but
I'm saying if it gets clogged up somewhere or whatnot.
oh yeah, that's a rare thing, and the computer won't allow it to.
Oh, it would just shut it down, huh?
Yeah, it'll shut it down if you.
Ready?
Yep.
Yeah. It sure is a lot quieter than the other one.
Yeah. Yeah, that other.
Now, Mike, don't tell me you put that sticker there.
Piss on Polaris.
Afraid I was gonna have to take the carburetors off, clean them, and that is a major fucking operation.
Yeah, I guess a little bit of seafoam and fresh fuel, and
Yeah.
they should be running. Do you want them pre-filters?
Yeah. God damn it, I didn't have it. I'm gonna knock the water out of it. Actually, the goddamn thing, both of them started better and run better than what I was afraid they was going to.
Yeah, it's always impressive to me how well things hold up out here in the West. Outside things that get hot, I mean, you don't see any rust whatsoever.
Yeah, it's totally different than it is back east or down south.
Mm-hmm.
Whole different world.